Hello, I'm Craig Parker. I'm the Head of Integrated Systems Business within Fujitsu Europe. My responsibility is regarding all of the latest technologies within the data center, and I'm responsible for what we build, how we bring those to market, who we partner with. And in part of those solutions are converged infrastructure, hyper-converged, cloud and hybrid cloud solutions. So I'd like to talk to you today about our hyperconverged solution that we've built with Nutanix. Now, I've been in the business for 25 years, and I've seen some points in time where we've seen different technologies become mainstream within the marketplace. And I think with hyperconverged solutions, we're absolutely facing one of those points in time. So we're seeing a lot of our customers, looking to bring new applications to market, look for applications to get a competitive advantage, and really change the way that they do their business. And for me, this graphic beautifully illustrates how business sits upon infrastructure and how important it is for infrastructure to be there, to be flexible, dynamic, changeable, to help customers to really achieve the outcomes that they're looking for. Now, this graphic is lovely, but actually case studies and real life stories, I think, really also bring it home. So when we get to the end of the presentation, you're going to hear from Rafael Pena, the CISO of Dinea. Dinea is a digital marketing company, and what they're doing is they're using data from loads of different multi-channel sources, scientific approaches, marketing automation, artificial intelligence to absolutely bring new solutions and insights to their customers. And you'll see that actually, I love one of the phrases in the video, is that they're having to deal with constant disruption in these changing times. And for them, having a flexible, dynamic infrastructure is absolutely critical, important to them. And that, I think, will also really bring this story to life. And as I say, this is why I think at the moment we're hitting a really interesting time where hyperconverged solutions are becoming mainstream, and it's why now it's that time to rethink your infrastructure. As I say, we've been selling hyperconverged solutions for a number of years now. We've got thousands of deployments in the European market space. And when we first started out, it was all about trying to, do virtualization simpler, virtualization at maybe at a lower cost point. So the early deployments were all around just simple choice of hypervisor. VDI actually, interestingly, drove a lot of the early adoption of hyperconverged solutions because of the dynamic of bringing extra users upon. The VDI use case was quite a nice one. But actually, what we've seen in the last couple of years is more and more applications coming onto hyperconverged solutions. And we're seeing that as the technology advances. And for me, there's a couple of real big steps that we've just taken in the last year or so that's enabled people to have a lot more confidence to deploy even more applications and workloads onto hyperconverged solutions, such as our SAP HANA for HCI, or, the adoption of cloud native applications deployed within containers. That's coming onto HCI solutions. And it's all those things that are coming through at the same time as we're developing the technology that I think is what's driving the mainstream adoption of hyperconverged solutions. And the reason why they're coming through a lot more is because they're easier to change and they're more dynamic than perhaps three-tier architecture. They now have tools where you can do the lifecycle management a lot more easily. They're automated. They can be accessed remotely, which again, in these changing times, the ability to update, maintain, support an infrastructure when you can't get to that infrastructure, is certainly something that's important. And these appliances built in a way that you can access them more remotely makes them certainly a lot more appealing. As does also some of the commercials that are going with it. When you were looking at more traditional based technologies and buying them in different component parts, it was difficult to put financial wrappers around them. But with hyperconverged solutions, we've been able to do so, and that's certainly something I'll talk about a lot later. And also with the tools that we're putting in place where you can have catalogs to download software as you would doing an update to your phone. These systems improve daily, and can grow and can be supported a lot more easily. And that's why, again, I think the developments that we've been making, are really why people are starting to move to hyperconverged solutions. Because also what was happening is a lot of people were frustrated and held back by their traditional infrastructure, went to the cloud because the cloud promised so much, rapid time to market. Yeah, rapid time to market is something that is certainly a feature of hyperconverged solutions, the whole pre-built, pre-configured element. But the one-click simplicity perhaps wasn't there. The continuous innovation maybe might have been done in, one part of the infrastructure and not fully in the appliance. Or the financial consumption meant that perhaps you couldn't pay for what you use. But all those features, all of those expectations, all the things that people were going to the public cloud for are now available within hyperconverged solutions and solutions like the PRIMEFLEX for Nutanix Enterprise Cloud, because we have built it as an appliance that is easily automated in the way that maintain it. We can build and it can be consumed on a pay-per-use basis because it's built as an appliance, like a lot of our phones. It's much more of a secure lockdown unit, so it's a lot more secure. But then at the same time, on top, there's a lot more openness to that to enable us to, or you to, adopt cloud-native applications. So for me, having those features within the appliances, the hyperconverged solutions appliances that we're building, I think really now is addressing a lot of the challenges that customers are looking for. Or let's not just look at them as challenges. A lot of our customers are looking at technologies to give them commercial advantage and offer new services and connect with their customers in different ways. So, it could be the fact that we're talking about new mobile banking applications, being built in cloud-native appliances, built in containers and built upon dynamic infrastructures. The graphic here is quite a nice one. We're doing a lot with manufacturing companies, especially in Germany. A lot of you would know our heritage is in Germany and Japan. And a lot of the manufacturing customers that we're working with are using artificial intelligence, sensors, streaming through loads of data, sifting that data to see whether they can change the designs of their cars and again, come out with a competitive advantage in a different way. So for me, having a flexible, dynamic infrastructure that's helping customers to achieve their business outcomes is absolutely why I think it's time to rethink your infrastructure. But also, that was all quite positive. There is this disruption out there that, yes, we all do need to talk about, and this is driving, obviously, a lot of people's thinking. There's a customer of Fujitsu. They're a very large government central customer. And they talked to our account team on a Friday before this country went into lockdown. And they said to the account team, we need to move all of our call center workers to home workers. And our account team said, yeah, fine. yeah, how many have you got on VDI at the moment? They said 600. And I said, okay, how many do you want to move? They said 60,000. And over a weekend, we helped them move that. Now, full disclosure, that is not a Fujitsu Nutanix case study. That's just, I thought, a really quite, extreme example of what we in the industry are facing. But we, Fujitsu Nutanix, do have a customer. It's also a central government customer, a police force. And we have deployed a back-end Fujitsu Nutanix infrastructure into their data centers. We did it in January for a range of business applications. And now we've extended that deployment to deploy 10,000 of their users from a remote working perspective. So we absolutely do have customers that are deploying en masse and on scale. But we're also helping smaller customers here, like this example. And this customer, as we saw, needed to move their workers to home base. And even as a laptop supplier, we know the challenges of getting equipment out to people and then setting up VPNs, and this needed to be done quickly. So what we did was we worked with the customer. They worked with their employees to deploy VDI on their home devices, so a bring your own device approach where possible. And then we built a back-end solution on that based upon Fujitsu and a Nutanix infrastructure. Now, I'm going to talk about how we work with Nutanix and the engineering in a moment and take you into that in a lot more detail. But I just want to highlight this little solution that is absolutely Citrix ready, that will enable customers to deploy that VDI environment and get their workers working from home really easily. So let's take a look at this video.
When things change around us, the strongest businesses do things a little differently. After all, even big changes can be the start of something great, making work more productive and rewarding, and helping you stand out with new efficiencies. That's why Fujitsu and Nutanix have come together to create a Citrix-ready solution for a future without boundaries. An infrastructure that can start small and affordable, but is built to scale, to flex, to meet new frontiers, yet stay secure. A resilient system for remote working without limits, and Citrix ready for a seamless user experience. It lets you manage everything from anywhere, add nodes and integrate them with a single click, expand instantly by moving rapid scaling applications to the cloud, and cut management costs by half, bringing together high-quality, energy-efficient infrastructure with cloud software and a market-leading hypervisor in one of the few true hyper-converged solutions around. And ready to start small to prepare your business for any application or any integration at any scale in a greener future. Fujitsu integrated system PRIMEFLEX for Nutanix Enterprise Cloud eliminates three-tier complexity with software-defined simplicity that integrates computing, virtualization, storage, networking, and security. A lot has changed, and things will keep changing. But with strong partnerships and the right infrastructure, you'll be ready for them. Our scalable architectures help thousands of organizations become more resilient. Choose the perfect fit for your business with our range of flexible solutions. Contact your sales representative today for a consultation or get in touch on this link: fujitsu.com/Nutanix.
Yeah, for me, that just really sums up a lot of the things that I've been saying. I think being able to trust partners that have put a lot of effort into engineering and working together to build customer-specific solutions, I think is really, really important. And that's one of the things I really like about the culture of Fujitsu and Nutanix. The engineering heritage and focus is absolutely there, be it on the software side or the hardware side. And I think, it is easy to talk about, engineering design when you look at a piece of metal like this. And I think it is quite a beautiful, server, and the airflows and all of the quality of the solutions is what we're known for. But we are an engineering company, and that does go across the whole organization and the DNA of the business and how we build and bring appliances to market. And we have spent thousands of hours certifying Nutanix's software onto our servers so that they can be pre-configured, pre-loaded in the factory, which is why we've been able to achieve the Intel Select Solution certification, because again, they've revalidated the designs that we've got, making sure that we've absolutely optimized the performance, that you can look at it from an efficiency or reliability perspective, but also that we're there to help with maintenance and support. And I think that this is probably one of the big things that is changing in the marketplace, is how we deliver easier in life management perspective, leveraging either and Nutanix Lifecycle Manager or Fujitsu Integrated Services Manager. So LCM or ICM creates a catalog that can be used to pull down all of the latest configurations and firmware patches, so that maintenance and engineering support keeps you going for Citrix-ready environments or any environments that you could be considering. So for me, again, as I say, images and graphics are great, but real-life case studies and stories I think are really important. This is from Kramer and Crew, poster boy of both Nutanix and Fujitsu in terms of partners and how we've worked with them. They're a great reseller. At .NEXT Copenhagen last year, they were on stage with Sami Zaglami achieving a partnership award. But they've moved from being a reseller to a service provider. And the big thing for those guys was about building infrastructures that could scale as they brought more customers on, that was easier to manage in life, really simple to operate, but also very much built upon highly quality, reliable systems. And that's why they chose the Fujitsu Nutanix solution. SKV, exactly the same example, another service provider, future-proof solution, self-service automation, key to them. Again, with a hyper-converged solution, it's much easier to do that maintenance and do it in an automated way than your traditional three-tier architecture. We're picking lots of service providers. This is another service provider, Harbour, we've worked with in the UK. They're growing from strength to strength, bringing more and more customers on. And the thing that was important to Harbour was actually the financial model and the sort of position that we took with them. We actually put 16 nodes of virtualized compute on the floor within the Harbour data center, but they only paid for 8 because they had customers for 8. They knew that they would grow very, very rapidly once that first set was up and running. But they still said, well, look, hey, Fujitsu, it could still be a couple of months before we've done the implementation. We're ready to roll out. Can you help us spread out the costs? And that's where Uscale comes in. We were able to do that with the financial modeling, that pay-per-use service that we have built and we're able to offer to our customers. I've got one more case study. This is Danae. This is the digital marketing company that I talked about at the start of the presentation. And this presentation is just so great. I'm not going to introduce it anymore. Let's just watch it play.
DNA is a direct digital marketing company. We provide multi-channel strategy for our customer and help our customer to turn their contacts into competitive advantage. We combine multi-channel strategy, data science, marketing automation, and machine learning. Digital marketing is a very fluid sector. Customer needs and requirements change quickly. So is a continuous disruption. Successful digital marketing and customer experience project required impeccable design methodology and a reliable platform. And to do this, we need a technology infrastructure with the highest level of availability, reliability, resilience, and data protection. Hyper-converged infrastructure is a different way to manage and to provide the resources, data center resources, because traditional model have a three-layer computing, networking, and storage components. Hyper-converged infrastructure unifies, combines this three-layer in a single resource pool. Last year, we decided to increase our data center performance and started with an hardware selection. We engage our partner, R1 Group, and at the end of the selection, we decide to choose Fujitsu as the best solution for us. This project helps us to reduce the total cost of ownership. They satisfied all our requirements, but with the best quality-price ratio. One factor very important in this project was the speed in which Fujitsu integrates with Nutanix Cloud Enterprise solution, because this shows the attention that Fujitsu have for a customer needs. Fujitsu technology is very flexible. It's very flexible and adaptive to the real needs of the customer. Another important thing is a more quick time to market, because we are able to deploy quickly new services, new projects for our customers. If I have to choose a word for Fujitsu, I choose innovation.
I'll take that word, innovation. You know, that is part of what my team's responsibility is, working with our partners to develop solutions for our customers in an innovative way. So, you know, for me, yeah, that's a fantastic case study. I think it really brings together the whole story from start to finish, you know, what we were trying to emphasize around. And I love the phrase that Raphael used in there around continuous disruption. You know, we're seeing people wanting to take new approaches to gain competitive advantage. We're seeing some people having to change because of larger forces that are happening out in the world at the moment, and that different change requiring different approaches. And as was sort of shown in the video, those approaches are really important, and having infrastructure that can be flexible and grow and scale, or pay-per-use models that means that you know, if you don't quite need that infrastructure, we can, you know, make arrangements around that. For me, being able to change to an adaptive environment, I think is really, really important. And again, these new drives in the marketplace, be it data science or artificial intelligence or marketing automations and the workloads that go with that, they absolutely can sit upon a hyper-converged infrastructure. And so being ready for these new application deployments as well as VDI that we've talked about, I think is really, really important. And there was another point that came up in the case study for, obviously we're talking a lot to customers here, but also to our partners. Yes, we're talking about Nutanix, we're talking about Intel, we're talking about Citrix here, but also channel partners. A channel partner was key to the delivery of that service, and a lot of the technologies that we're talking about here aren't just about being at the top end of the data center. They are also for the mid-market customer and the smaller customer. And, Fujitsu loves working with our channel partners to address those types of customers. And that came through in the case study. Hopefully, hope you saw that as well as the previous case studies as well. So, even though, as I say, I feel that case study wraps a lot of things together, I just want to pause and summarize on why I think it is now time to rethink your infrastructure and really truly consider a hyper-converged approach. We are working, living, having to adapt to a changing world. Digital application development is helping to address challenges in that world with new ways of working. That definitely is making us consider infrastructure in a different way, but also some of the decisions that are just coming that we're having to react to. There's complete new dynamics in that. So as a consequence, as we're faced with all of that, I think it's time to have a really good look at appliances, looking at, partners who are really taking their time to build great appliances that address your needs and do then that in a way that they can be maintained or changed or flexible with all of the support services that go around that. So as a consequence, for me, take advantage of all of the development work that we've done, all of that innovation that came through in that case study, and perhaps take the time to rethink your infrastructure and reconsider a hyper-converged solution from Fujitsu and Nutanix. Thank you.